Hello everybody, welcome to the sound test room. Today we're going to build a multi-timbral super synth sort of thing in AUM. So I'm going to put, the thing is that the point here is I'm going to show you how you can set it all up, because I kind of did something similar the other day and someone asked me how to set it all up so it all plays at the same time sort of thing with your MIDI keyboard, but I'm going to show you now. So we'll first of all we'll open AUM. We'll get through this as quickly as very quickly as possible. AUM. Okay, so we don't want to reload last session because that was the session I was testing for this. So we'll completely start with fresh. Okay, so this is what you start with. Now, before you go any further, things to keep an eye on for this are the DSP up here. And what I would suggest is you go to settings and set your buffer at 1024, which is the highest one. Okay, so and your sample rate is this, and make sure that your highest quality is off. Okay, right, so okie dokie, and let's see, bit depth 16, latency comp is on, that's fine, all fine, fine, it's all fine. So that's what the main thing is, the 1024 buffering. Okay, so first of all, we're going to use inter-app audio, and we're going to, because I find the kind of synths that I want to use in this, particularly at the moment, still inter-app audio. So I want to find Mitosynth. Where is it? No, it should be in alphabetical order, shouldn't it? So. Mitosynth, there it is, there, and that'll launch, and then we can launch that there, go to library, and I want to use this sound. Another live too. Well, I mean, yeah, you can use any sound you like. We'll go back there, turn that down a little bit. We'll add another channel here, and we're going to use another inter-app. And because you can mix and match with the AUM and inter-app as well, so you know. Okay, and let me just see here. Talk amongst yourselves while I try and remember what I wanted to put in here. Let's go down and have a look until I find what I want. Oh, I know what it was. SynthScaper. Yeah, that's the sound. So let's go back to the host now. Now there are several ways you can do this at the moment. You will see that Mitosynth is triggered off its own bat sort of thing. I don't know if this has actually been set up properly. inside Mitosynth might need an update, but you won't hear SynthScaper. However, you see where it says USB MIDI, because that's but any of your like controllers you can route to yours. So you'll find out your synths down here. So all I need to do is hit like SynthScaper, and it will automatically route to the first port sort of thing. If you don't want it, you can that route to the MIDI channel sort of thing. If we do this to the MIDI channel, or if we do this to keyboard to SynthScaper sort of thing, that's how your routing works. But I'm using my USB MIDI keyboard, so I want to route that to SynthScaper, and I also want to route it to Mitosynth as well. So then we can get rid of that, and both of these will now play with my MIDI keyboard. Now you'll notice that SynthScaper has pushed the DSP up to quite a lot now, so it's on 49-50%. That's quite juicy. So we're not going to be able to add many more, but we could, if you wanted to, you could try and take out SynthScaper and add something else. It's a little less more powerful, and add some effects to get up the meatiness. But for the point of this, it's fine. And let's add a LayR now. LayR Synth. And as it, we can add each separate synth in LayR, but I want to add the entire complete thing. So I'm already playing layers sort of thing. So let's go over there now. Let's go here, and I want to use, let me see. There's a pad sound that I want to use. Drones, effects, ensembles. Ah, there we go. I think it's that one. And to AUM and to our routing system as well. And this time we want to route LayR. DSP now. I'm going to try and add a audio unit effect and EOS on here. So now what we have, if we hit just one note, and then bring up a note like a couple of octaves above that. Okay, so now we've got this far. What I want to do, well, just it's fading out. Looks like that's decided to hold itself. Okay, that was just a MIDI hung note there. Okay, that's fine now. Right, what I want to do is I want to be able to get these as an instrument into Cubasis. So, or your particular DAW of choice. I just prefer Cubasis because that's the one I know and I like to work with. Okay, so let's open here. We have to do this as an interapp and Cubasis. Okay, so let's nip on over to Cubasis now. So we need to make a few adjustments here. Set up a new project. Let's call it AUM Synth. Super synth. Okay, and first of all we want to add 4 audio tracks. Three audio tracks. We've got 3 synths, haven't we? 3 audio synth like this. And then we need to go to audio track 1 here, and then we need to go to routing, and then that one there, and then go to into app, and we need to scroll down until we find AUM. Okay, now there's AUM. Now there are 8 ports, your 8 ports for AUM. So for audio track 1, audio track, I want to use port 1. Okay, then I want to go back here, choose number 2, and you're probably with me here, find AUM and choose port 2, and then go back to here and go to audio track 3, and then go to AUM. What am I doing? Loading Drupal flute. I don't want to load Drupal flute. Let me just delete that one. Let me add other audio track there, audio track 3 in there, and we'll go to AUM port 3. Okay, so now we will have our 3, don't need to have that on for record, 3 ports from AUM going into audio bus. However, although you can hear the synths, you're not seeing any movement here, and Cubasis isn't doing anything at all. So let's get back to AUM. So what we have to do now is here where our routing is. If we hit this, we hit into app audio bus output, we will find that because we have set up our AUM ports inside Cubasis first, that they're represented here. So if we just set even more, if we just set all 8 up, we could have just carried on. So you could do that first. You could just carry on routing instruments into, excuse me, just a second. What you need to do now is route Mitosynth into number 1. Okay, here obviously into number 2. It's going to make sense to you, right? Because you're going to keep it in line. And this one into number 3. So now what you will have, all your synths been master controlled by the Cubasis fader. And also, if we go to Cubasis now, we can control our synth with Cubasis faders as well. But also further than that, we can then start to apply effects to the Cubasis channels if we wanted to. So I mean, you could have a sound affected massively if you wanted to, bearing in mind your DSP levels, of course. Now here's another thing as well. What we're going to do is going to quickly, before we go, is I'm just going to check my DSP levels now. This is a 3-note chord. So that's pretty good. 82. It hasn't really done anything since we added SynthScaper, really. LayR, these are chunky synthesizers, you know, and they're going into Cubasis, and that's all working fine. Okay, one more tip here before we start to record that into Cubasis and then finish off is this little keyboard down here. If you don't want to do this with a MIDI keyboard, if you haven't got a keyboard plugged in, this little keyboard down here, as you see at the moment, is making no sound whatsoever. You need to tap this little wrench here, and then that will allow you to add. So we could add Mitosynth and this one and LayR, and we could even add Drupal flute since I seem to have opened it somewhere. Foolish boy. But you can add those 3 or whatever you want to this keyboard here. awesome is that? Just taking a screenshot for the thumbnail for the video. So I think that's just, I think it's brilliant idea. I think it's brilliant. Brilliant. Right, so yeah, so that you got that. So now what we want to do now is we want to go and record into Cubasis. So you'll see a little recording indicator light there. Let's stop that. If we go to, I never set this up first, but it's on 120 BPM, but that's fine. You need to make sure that the 3 tracks that you want to record are armed. Okay? And if you want your recording to count in, which I particularly do, you want your, no, sorry, I have it automatically set on. I have it automatically set on a 2-bar count in, which you set up in setup here in metronome, and you can choose up to 4 bars to count in, the volume of your metronome sort of thing, and where it outputs to. Well, I have it output to the stereo output, so that's fine. Anyway, make sure that they're armed. If you want your metronome to sound once the counting is finished, have your metronome armed. I don't, because this is a soundscape and it doesn't matter. To me, I'd rather it be natural and not locked into any kind of timing or whatever. Okay, so, and then what we're going to do is go back and we can set our record here. If I just hit that, and then I can scoot back on over to AUM, or I can just tap any one of these. Now it will record all 3. I only need to tap one. Okay, so let's try that. So let's try it like this. We can let's leave them all at that level for now. Okay, now so we can stop record directly from AUM, and there is our thing. Now that looks a little, let's just solo that, shall we? Unarm it. So first of all, what we can do is just normalize that and make sure our volume down a little bit. Better. Okay, so one more quick thing that we're going to do now is we're going to go to our mixer. We're going to start with Mitosynth here, and we're going to hit read and write. So if you hit write, it'll read and write. If you just hit read, it'll just hit read. So we're going to hit read and write, read and write, read and write for all of them. Okay, and we're going to go back to the beginning, and we're going to start. Now I'm doing this quick, so pay no attention. Stop that. let's go back to the beginning and let's take off right off all of them and make them watch our faders have now recorded. And then if you didn't want the automation to play on any particular one, you just take off, what's it again, the read, sorry. Right guys, I think that's it basically. That was a quick blast of setting up, how to set up, how to route it into Audio Bus. Okay, so like I said, I use Cubasis, sorry, because that's the door I know to work with, so I only need to learn that one. Yeah, I'd suggest get a door and a workstation and stick to it and learn it. And yeah, route in these different synths for your AUM, even with a bit of effect as well. Very cool beans. How to route them, how to set up this particular keyboard. I've got my volumes turned down now, haven't I, in Cubasis? Yeah, so very cool beans. I hope you enjoyed this, guys. If you did, give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, consider becoming a Patreon. Okay, I'll see you guys later.